captured in PDFs, research papers. If you actually want to reuse that knowledge, you have to download the code, get the data, and it's completely scattered. So there is a massive, massive reproducibility aspect. Biology is trapped in PDFs, knowledge is disconnected, and you also, if you're working in the biomedical science, patient data, health data is incredibly sensitive. So if you're going to use any kind of genetic data, for instance, you really need to make sure that that data stays at home, that doesn't leave your machine. And there isn't really, as of today, any kind of centralized repository that actually natively allow this functionality to be discoverable by agents. So that's where ClawBio comes in. So I'm going to give you a live demo of what ClawBio is able to do. So here, currently, if I just do the list of current skills, so as I said, it's an open source community. It already has 21 skills from microgenomics, health equity, metagenomics, and so on. So very, very specific to the biological domain. Now, I actually have used this data with my own personal genetic data. So there is something called pharmacogenomics, which is an incredibly well-known type of science, whereby just by looking at your genetics, you can predict really, really well how likely you are to have adverse drug reactions if you take a pill. All right. So in this particular case, I have this PharmGx skill. So it's taken my genome and then it's compared against 12 different genes and 51 different drugs. And in fact, I didn't know this, but I'm highly sensitive to a drug, a blood thinner drug called warfarin, which is the most prescribed anticoagulant in the world. And simply just by looking at this, I realized that I'm actually highly sensitive. So in other words, if I had the normal dosage, I could bleed to death. So I had never been prescribed this before, and you know, this skill is out there just at one click. Okay, but this is not just the whole story. We've developed something called drug photo, and I'm going to actually demonstrate that. So I have my robots here. Her name is Roboteri, and if you could imagine that you go to a pharmacy, right? You go to a pharmacy and you want to check whether that particular drug that you've been prescribed actually your reactivity to it. So you're going to see, I'm going to take a picture of the drug, yeah, as if I was in the, yeah, and I'm going to submit that to my robot, yeah. Hopefully you can see that in there. So I've submitted that to the robot. The robot is thinking for a bit, and basically what it's able to do is that with your mobile phone, you go to the pharmacy, it already has your genome, and by taking the picture, it's able to identify that particular drug box, check against FDA recommendations, the current guidelines, and then it gives you a report. Yeah, so I'm basically demonstrating that this kind of technology is completely accessible from your mobile phone, and it's having a tremendous impact on my ability to receive the appropriate healthcare. Okay, so you have seen it live. I just took the picture there, and then I get the report here. Okay, so I have a recommendation, which is to avoid, because if I take that drug, I'm going to be completely screwed, at least on normal levels. Okay. So I'm not making this up. So to be honest, if you go to the current repo, this community is already live. It has been cloned 2,000 times in this particular week. I have a tremendous amount of traction that I can demonstrate. You can see here in the numbers, it has been started in just 1 week, 158 times. It has ported 24 times. We already have a tremendous amount of social proof behind this. And we have the appropriate skills and technologies to allow this to happen as the repository, as the having place for biological skills. That's what ClawBio intends to be. All right, so as I said, I have the markers. Now, the final message is that biology should have skills that can be reused just with one command line. Yeah, no PDFs. Currently, knowledge in biology is shared via PDFs. PDFs are useless for agents. Here we provide the platform and infrastructure to be able to take that functionality just with one command, and it works on your own computer without having to worry about sharing your own personal sensitive data. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the right partners, the right VCs, and the right collaborators that will allow us to make this the community where any biology that it wants to be reusable and executable within the biological domain, this is the right place to be. So thank you so much for your attention.